Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Super nice to meet all of you. My name is David. I am one of the program assistants and also marketing assistant that works with the project. And well, today I'm just going to show you guys the program schedule, what we're going to do, all the important information that you may have missed. This is an opportunity for you to ask as many questions as possible after I walk through the program. So do not hesitate to write any of your questions in the Zoom chat, or if you wish to remain anonymous, you can just pop it in the Q&A, and at the end of the session, I'll try to answer all of your questions. So welcome to the Sustainable Global Experience. You probably know a little bit about the program already. Basically, this is a sustainable trip to Amsterdam that is focusing on the sustainability environmental aspects of this trip. And it's incorporated with the Carbon Literacy Project, a company that we work with that will provide you with the qualifications to essentially award you with the certificate that you are now will become carbon literate. So, what is Sustainable Global Experience, SGE? This is our super innovative and inclusive environmentally sustainable program, and it's just there. It's there for you to empower future graduates like you to become work ready, culturally fluent, and carbon conscious. The trip will entail a 5-night field trip to Amsterdam, and we'll be visiting different companies to give you sort of a professional view on sustainability in a global context. Also, apart from the actual field trip, we'll also be having a virtual event right after the field trip, where you will have to do some self-studies and some trainings of carbon literacy. One more important note that all the carbon that will generate during this trip will be 150% offset through gold standard offsetting schemes. So we'll be tracking everything that we do, from eating to traveling to commuting within the city. So we want to make sure that we really speak to, we're really putting in context the whole sustainable aspect of the trip. The program overview, very simple. So as you probably already know, the field trip will take place from the 8th of August, which is a Monday, until the 13th of August, which is a Saturday. The virtual week will follow up the Monday after, on the 15th of August, until the 19th of August, which is a Friday. Both of these weeks are mandatory. This is what's included in, this is essentially what the university is funded you for. And you have to take place in both of these weeks. The outcomes of the program is essentially for you to gain understanding about sustainability issues and developments across different industries. All of you will come from different academic backgrounds, so all of you will find something something interesting, something useful in this program. This program will also allow you to become carbon literate through the Carbon Literacy Project, and you'll also be able to develop a range of transferable skills through the group projects that we're going to be performing. What's included in the program, you should probably already know, but just to clarify some things. So you will have the Eurostar travel from London to Amsterdam. That is a 5 to 6 hour train from London. You'll have to make yourselves there by yourself. There's no coach included. So make sure that you plan ahead. We'll be sharing in a second all the times that you need to be at the station. Also, your accommodation throughout the trip is included in Amsterdam. So we'll be staying at a hostel very close to to central Amsterdam. You will also you'll be invited to a welcome and a farewell meal, including a drink, food. You'll also have, during the program, you'll have tours and visits, workshops to different local businesses and museums that are related to sustainability, or at least they do sustainable measures in order to operate their businesses. You'll also have the carbon literacy training and the qualification upon completion included in the package. And you'll have full on-site support from Pagoda. We'll be there with you. I'll personally be there with you during the program to help to guide you, to be there to support, to ask questions, or whatever you need during the program. So before we get to Amsterdam, I wanted to know who has been to Amsterdam before. We're going to launch a poll right here. And while you're just filling that out, just going to talk about why we chose Amsterdam in the first place. So Amsterdam as a city is, well, Netherlands in general, but Amsterdam, the city itself, is doing really great green initiatives, sustainable initiatives to bring together the locals, businesses, and social organizations, the academia, to work towards a carbon-free city. They are front runners in Europe, and the Amsterdam Council has actually set out some really ambitious but realistic goals, sustainability goals, throughout the next decade. So as you can see on the presentation, by 2030, they'd like to become an emission-free city and generate 80% of their energy through solar and wind powers. By 2040, they do not want to use natural gas. And by 2050, they try to be climate neutral and adaptable. So they want to equip the roofs with solar panels and become a circular city. So I can see half of you actually have been to Amsterdam and the other half has not been to Amsterdam, which is quite a good ratio. I hope that the ones have been to Amsterdam already will have a sort of a different view on the city itself. And for the ones who have not been, I'm like super excited to show you guys the city. It's got so many gems and so many secret spots to offer. You'll have a blast. Right. There we go. Next slide. So we've created a rough itinerary. This is pretty much, this will not change. Maybe just a little bit, but this is sort of what you can expect from the program. So Monday morning, you'll basically just be hopefully in London already or traveling to London in the morning. And in the afternoon, you'll get the Eurostar train and check into the hostel. After, on the same day in the evening, we'll go to our first group dinner. That's going to be your welcome dinner, and hopefully you get the chance to meet with your fellow participants, socialize a little bit, have some good time, because the day is going to be quite long because of the travels. And then Tuesday is going to be our first proper day. In the morning, we'll have a sort of a 1 to 2 hours orientation, and we'll introduce you to the team members, to each other. We'll talk a little bit more about what's going to happen during the week, and we'll introduce you to the group project. In the afternoon, we'll have a super fun activity. We've prepared for you a scavenger hunt in the city. You'll be organized in small groups, and we'll have the chance to discover Amsterdam through really fun activities, I like to say. And in the evening, you'll have free time to discover Amsterdam by yourself or within your groups if you've already bonded, hopefully. Wednesday, our second proper day. In the morning, we'll go to 2 companies to visit them and to talk about what they do as a business in order to become more sustainable or support sustainability. And in the afternoon, you'll have the chance to work on your group project. In the evening, again, you have some free time. This is really up to you, the free time and the group work. It's really up to you and your group to organize yourselves and to decide when you want to work on it and when you want to have that free time to enjoy the city. Thursday morning, you'll also have the chance to, again, do free time or group work. And in the afternoon, we'll be visiting two different, I would say, we'll be going to do different tours. One of them is going to be the Kubo. This is a sustainable cooperative workspace that's been built on shipyards, built upon a shipping yard. And straight after that, we'll be heading to the Science Museum to see an energy exhibition. This is an interactive museum site. It's super fun. Again, related to sustainability, you'll have the chance to learn more about the cause. In the evening, you'll have some free time, or again, work on your group projects. This is completely up to you. And Friday morning, if you want to have the last minute retouches of your group work, you can do that, because in the afternoon, you'll be presenting your group project in front of, well, the entire group. And you will also give out the prizes and feedback for your efforts. In the evening, just to celebrate a little bit more, we'll go for our farewell dinner. And that's going to be really fun. Everyone loved the farewell dinner so far. It's a place very close to the hostel, so we'll have a lot of fun. Saturday morning, this is our last day. We have the morning free. We'll go to a boat tour because we cannot go to Amsterdam without seeing, Amsterdam from the canals itself. And you have a couple of hours of free time, but in the afternoon, we'll be taking the train back to London. From London, you have the chance to either you can stay in London, or you can take a coach or a train or whatever back to your city. In case you want to stay in the Netherlands or travel somewhere else from the Netherlands, just please let us know. You can certainly do that, but you need to let us know so we won't be missing you on a head count. Right, so travel arrangements from London to Amsterdam. We'll be meeting in St. Pancras Station, so be careful here because there is King's Cross Station and there is St. Pancras International Station. We'll be meeting at St. Pancras Station to get the Eurostar train. The Eurostar train will leave at 11:04, and you'd have to be at the station 2 hours before the departure time. We'll be meeting at the Starbucks in the station. There's only one Starbucks, so you won't be able to miss it. And I or another team member will be waiting for you there. The train will take approximately 4 to 5 hours, more like 5 to 6. And once we arrive on the way back to Amsterdam, the return train is from 4:47. And the same rule applies, but either way, we'll be communicating everything to you on the portal on a daily basis closer to the date. What to bring with you, what to pack. This is quite important. Remember, this is going to be August, so check the weather because it can either be super hot or you can expect some showers as well. So make sure to check the weather maybe a week before we depart from the UK. We advise you to bring super comfortable shoes as we'll be walking around the city quite a lot. It's a sustainable trip. We'll be using public transportation as well, but you will need comfortable shoes. It's probably not the best, to bring high heels. It's gonna hurt. We'd recommend you to bring one smart casual outfit just for one of the company visits in case you want to network and present yourself a bit more professional. But again, don't go suit and tie. This is just a smart and casual, just slightly a little bit more professional, but this is really up to you. This is not an obligation. In terms of gadgets, please bring your smartphone with you. You'll probably have your COVID passes on it, some tickets, and for communication purposes. And if you can bring a laptop, this is not a requirement, but it would be very useful for your group project. We'd imagine that within the group, a lot of people will bring laptops. So if one of you don't have one or cannot bring one or don't feel comfortable bringing one, that should be okay. If you can, please bring it, as it will be very useful. Make sure to check that you have EU roaming. After Brexit, a lot of companies have stopped roaming in the EU, or they charge some money for it. So make sure to check that with your provider. And very important, bring your EU adapters. In the Netherlands, they have the EU plugs, which are different to the UK ones, the 3-pin UK ones. So make sure to have that. In terms of budgeting, check your withdrawal charges with your bank. Each bank charges differently. We recommend you to have maybe a digital bank like Revolut or Monzo. Those tend to be a little bit less expensive than regular banks. But if you're sticking with a regular bank, just make sure to check how much each withdrawal costs, as it might be more economical to draw maybe a bigger amount once than draw smaller amounts multiple times. Remember that Amsterdam has capital city prices. So once you go on the portal, you'll be able to see some of the research that we've done in terms of food prices and dining out. But you can do your own research as well in your free time, of course. In terms of luggage requirement, Eurostar doesn't have any weight restrictions, but you can only bring one piece of luggage up to 85 centimeter long for rucksacks and suitcases, and you can also bring one hand luggage. So essentially one big one and one small one in your hands. And you can fill it up as heavy as you want. But just remember it that we won't be taking taxis, we'll be using public transport, so you will have to carry your luggage with you to the hostel. It's not super far, but it is a 10-minute walk, so just bear that in mind. Other important things to bring with you, copies of your passport and COVID documentations, just in case you lose it or anything happens. It's always good to have one, maybe. And your student card, as we'll be visiting museums where you get a discount, which could be quite useful if you're a student and you are a student. Let's see what's next. Right, so essential entry requirements. This is probably the most important slide. So if you've not been 100% listening to me talking, this is probably the moment to tune in, as this is essential for you to enter the Netherlands. So the Netherlands still requires you to be fully vaccinated, and in their terms, fully vaccinated means if you've had your third shot, as your booster, that means you are fully vaccinated. Or if you have received only 2 doses, so you've got your second vaccine at least 2 weeks before the entry to the Netherlands, but no more than 270 days before entering. So what does that mean? For your dates in August, you'd have to have your second vaccine between the 11th of November of 2021 and the 25th of July 2022. Anything out of those dates do not count as fully vaccinated in the Netherlands, and therefore you will not be able to enter the country. I'd like to repeat, if you have 3 shots of COVID vaccination, you are considered fully vaccinated and you don't have to worry about any of these dates. Additionally to your COVID pass, that you can use the NHS pass and the QR codes on it, Apart from that, you also need a vaccine declaration. This is a form that we've included in the digital welcome packs on the portal. This is a Word document that you need to fill out and have it saved on your phone with you. This is just for the Netherlands. In terms of passport, make sure that your expiry date is after the 5th of November 2022. Anything before, they will not allow you to enter the country. Okay, so I repeat, let's say your passport expires on the 4th of November, you will not gain entry to the country. Make sure to check this before you travel. And last but not least, all right, visas for non-UK and EU passport holders. If you have any questions regarding the visas, make sure to reach out to us, as it's a little bit of a complicated procedure, and we need to try to speed up the process for you as soon as possible. So if you do require a visa to enter the EU, please let us know. Right, this is the fun stuff now. Accommodation. Oh, sorry, there you go. Accommodation. We were staying in the north side of Amsterdam, super close to Central Station, and the hostel is called Klink Noord Youth Hostel. This is sort of a hipster arty region in Amsterdam, just across the river. There will be you'll be allocated in different single-sex dorms, by 4 and 6 people per room. You will have your ensuite bathroom, so you'll be only sharing with your fellow members. Towels are available to rent at the hostel, but if you can bring yours, that would be even better, just because of sustainability. And they also have hair dryers at the receptions. The common area at the hostel is massive. You'll have plenty of space. They have sofas, they have chairs, they have tables. It's a really nice hostel. We've been there not long ago, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. They also have a bar and sort of like a ping pong area and table football. They got lots of activities, so you'll definitely love it. They also have a kitchen that you can use. Or alternatively, they have a sort of like a restaurant breakfast space that opens in the morning and in the evenings. There are also plenty of restaurants around the hostel. And like I said, it's a short ferry ride to the Central Station of Amsterdam. In terms of support, you have 24/7 emergency contact with us on your program. But you will be communicating with us through the Pagoda portal. I believe you have already downloaded and registered to the portal, but if you have not done it, so please make sure to do that, because in terms of email, we will not be able to answer you as we'll have limited access to it. But on the portal, it works like WhatsApp, essentially. I'd like to reiterate that if you have any questions or any worries, please let us know. You can write us, you can ask questions right here, and we'll be answering your questions. In terms of virtual week, so this is the second part of the program. This is the digital side of the program. The week that starts the Monday after we come back from Amsterdam. You will have a welcome webinar. You'll have access to our skills courses, which are intercultural fluency, employability skills, digital competency, and workplace basics. You'll, after that, attend to a live event, and you'll go through the carbon literacy training. These courses essentially will prepare you to have the knowledge that the working place requires you to have, the work industry, the job market. And once you complete your carbon literacy training, you will be rewarded a certificate that then you can post on your LinkedIn, on your CV, and this will be a very important document for your future employees. Carbon literacy essentially is defined as the awareness of the carbon dioxide costs and impacts of everyday activities and the ability and motivation to reduce emissions on an individual, community, and organizational basis. So Carbon Literacy is a company that Pagoda Project has been working for years. It's a Manchester-based company. And like I said before, to be awarded the certificate, you have to complete 2 pre-training courses. These will take place on the portal, around 3 to 4 hours each. Attend 2 live online training sessions during the virtual week. These are going to be 2 4-hour sessions, so altogether 8 hours, and complete a pledge. We'll be sending out a document to you that you'll have to complete, and the Carbon Literacy Project, the company itself, will assess it for you. In terms of next steps, make sure that you have all the correct documents ready. Make sure you are registered on the Pagoda portal. You can also have access to all the information that we've just talked about and even more on the Pagoda portal under the group and document section. And if you do not have access to the group yet, make sure to accept the invite to that group. It should be called SGE Amsterdam 8th to the 13th of August. And introduce yourself in the group. Feel free. It's sort of like a Facebook for Pagoda members. And now we get to the questions. So let me stop the recording